Wait a minute, what'd you say?
I said I love your videos. I watch them all the time. Hey, it's kind of inspirational to see like you got Hellcats, Red Eyes, all that. So
when did it dawn on you?
Sorry?
When did you recognize me?
5 seconds ago, really.
I love that. Dude.
I saw the shirt. I was like, your face looks familiar. So I saw you. I was like, oh wait, that's him.
Are you a subscriber?
Oh yeah.
I love you, man.
Definitely. Thanks, man.
Dude, you made my day.
I appreciate you too.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
watching,
very much.
man.
Thank you.
That's great.
Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the end of week 2 where my wife and daughter are gone and have left me unsupervised while they left on their girls trip for 3.5, 4 weeks. And I'm down to maybe 2 weeks left before they come back, and I'm doing everything I possibly can and everything I'm not supposed to do. And one thing I gotta show this to you is I bought another one of these. I was fighting with her for a year on this thing being allowed in the house. And she had moved it to the garage and I'd move it back into the house, and we'd do this back and forth quite often, and finally it got so common that every time somebody came over, they loved this more than that, obviously, and would play it, and she realized this is a really cool thing to have in the house. So, she's not home now, I bought another one, and this is Pac-Man, 40th anniversary. Got an email last week and said I gotta have this. So I'm going to move her piano over about 1.5 feet, stick that thing right there, then when she comes home, I'll take the beating, but at least I'll have this thing in the house. Maybe I'll anchor it to the wall so she can't get it out, that'd be great. Anyways, so that's my last week's worth of entertainment. So today we're gonna talk about the new Dodge lineup. And I was hesitating doing a video on this only because I didn't want to be one of those people that capitalize on popular news articles just to get views. But so many of you have messaged me on Instagram and said, what do you think about this? What's your opinions? And I also watched a bunch of other videos that were painful and ridiculous and downright embarrassing. And I figured you guys deserve to hear an absolute cogent positioning like I gave you last week on the demon story. So if you haven't watched that video, watch it, and why you didn't buy one of those things. And it all gets confirmed in this video, and at the very least you get some clear perspective as to why they didn't do some of the things we all had hoped that they were going to do, and why they did the things they did. So let's go ahead and get started with that. But let's shoot this next part with the Hellcat.
Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. We the one. We the one. Yeah, out of the darkness I rose up. Gold in my soul, it's a gold rush. Yeah. Honor and freedom, I toast up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Hard on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning a pistol and shoot down the criticisms. Individually, I heard the voices that told us. Yeah. Throw dirt on my name and wish me the worst and scold us. Yeah.
Alright, first of all, I'm not a financial expert, nor am I an automotive expert. I think I'm a common sense expert, and that's where I'm going to be coming from with what I'm going to share with you today. I know we were all waiting for a Cuda, a Ghoul, a Hellephant, an all-wheel drive Hellcat, a two-door Charger. But here's my insight into the 2021 lineup announced by Dodge this week. First, stop being upset. Most of us probably couldn't have bought a Hellephant model, and it would have just pissed us off if we just bought a Redeye, and a lot of people did last year. Dodge has more respect for us than that, at least. Here's the reason why Dodge didn't launch some all-new car model. According to Autoblog.com, it literally costs about $1 billion to build a new model on an existing platform. To build a new model on an all-new platform, it's upwards of $6 billion. This is why automakers love making the same cars over and over again with slight tweaks. It literally saves them billions of dollars. And when you're fighting a tough stock market and economy and lose billions in market cap, you cannot take big and bold risks without putting thousands of jobs at risk. Go back to January 2018, Fiat Chrysler stock was $24.81 per share, making the market cap almost $50 billion. By the middle of 2019, they lost close to $20 billion with the stock going down and bouncing between $12 and $16, representing billions and billions of lost dollars. Here's how Wall Street viewed the 2021 rollout last week. Day started at $10.25 and ended with after hours trading at about $9.99, call it 10 bucks. All this means is that there's nothing to see here. Dodge did what was expected. They didn't take any huge risk to appease the horsepower heads like me, but they gave us something that made absolute sense. Let's start with a Hellcat Durango. I expect that price will be affordable. It'll be around $80,000, at least within reach of a large amount of people. Much better than a Jeep Trackhawk and faster. And again, it's not a Jeep, which never made any sense anyways to me. It's an SUV that most people know will be horrible on gas. I'd love to see them strap an 8,000 pound boat behind one of those things and see what the gas mileage is going to be like. They also knew that the emission standards, and this is all over Google, you can read it, the emission standards are going to be impossible to keep up with for more than a year, which is why they said they're only going to make it 1 year. And they're only projecting to sell around 2,000 of these things. And I expect if 3,000 people want one, they'll get one. But these likely won't be numbered, as they're not going to create that trap again like they did with the Demon. And if they only sell 1,000, then those buyers won't be upset since they'll have a rare SUV. And this was an easy build for them. They simply took the Hellcat motor and stuck it into a Durango, changed the headlights, and took the interior out of a Charger and a Challenger and made it fit into a Durango. So they didn't have to go create all kinds of new molds and things, especially in a weird economy like we've had even this past year. Small expense. Number two, let's talk about the Redeye Superstock. Again, it's going to be around $80,000. Just like I told you all in my last video about the Demon. It makes perfect sense. Like, why would they raise the price and take things away? But I told you so. I hate to say it. The Redeye is a friggin' Demon with smaller brakes, drag radials, and a different hood, and badge with numbers. And I have to imagine that Dodge does not like or condone the overblown prices on those that attracted non-enthusiasts who bought them to mark them up and resell them to enthusiasts who could afford them. But so many of them are for sale right now that the prices have tanked compared to their initial markups. And with the Superstock, you now have a rebadged Demon. One person said on Instagram, "So all they did is make a Redeye with 10 more horsepower?" And I replied, no, they made a Demon with 1 less. The Demon has 808 horsepower on pump gas, and the Redeye Superstock is now 807. It's a perfect analogy. Let's talk about number 3, the Hellcat Red Eye Charger. It's $80,000 range I'd expect as well. We all knew this was going to happen, and it's only fair to the Charger lovers. This brings the world into perfect harmony finally. So in summary, there's no need to be upset. They didn't discontinue the Challenger, thank God, even though he said something about having to say goodbye at some point, which was confusing and scary. But no doubt there will be some new models coming eventually, but I wouldn't hold my breath. We keep hearing about the new Viper, and that makes sense because the platform already exists, so financially it could be a huge hit. With all of that said, folks, hopefully this gives you some insight, and I can only tell you, all the vitriol I've seen out there, people expecting them to launch some ridiculous, amazing Hellephant version of the Charger, or something called the Ghoul, or whatever the thoughts were all over the internet. We all have to come back to earth and realize that not a single one of these car companies are hitting the ball out of the park right now. You can look at Chevy, you can look at Ford, you can look around and you can see that these car companies have taken billions of dollars in hits in their stock price. It doesn't mean they're bad companies. It doesn't mean anything about who's running it. It doesn't mean that their products suck or anything like that. So before you go down that road, it simply means that there's not a lot of confidence in automakers right now, and for that reason you're going to see these automakers be really cautious about what they do. That just is what it is. And when you watch, just simply watch the graphs and charts, you can watch and see that there's just so much caution around these things that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for a dealer to launch something super expensive that wouldn't go to the masses and hope to sell enough of them to reach this magnificent profit to appease the shareholders. That wouldn't happen. As a matter of fact, I would expect that the profit on some of these big beastly cars is not what we all would think. With that said, they did, thank goodness, finally get rid of the Dodge Caravan. So at least we have that to talk about. Take care, everybody. Please like, please subscribe. Thanks for following. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye. Mother bull. Oh, come on, man.
We the ones, we the ones, yeah, we the ones, yeah, underrated, we the underdogs,